Previously on Flirting with Death.
Getting out of Baghdad is gonna be an issue. I went through what GPS showed, and it's through the green zone. Bikes here are treated with racism. So I need to find another way to get out of Baghdad.
So in Erbil, I stayed for one night on the plan to go back. On that day, there was two bombings. One in Basra for the Turkish embassy there. There was another bombing happening in Duhok, which is 200 kilometers away from me, again, Turkish embassy. And there was talks about closing the borders. At this point, I was really in a bad situation. And Turkey started saying they're gonna close the border. They wanna close the border with Jordan as well. Then all hell broke loose, and there were some riots, and they broke into the green zone in Iraq, where all the ministries are and so on. At this stage, I started to get worried of getting stuck in Iraq, because now things are out of control. It was all good and nice, and suddenly things changed. I was so close to the Turkish border, it made no sense for me to go back. So I've decided I'm going to go to Turkey. It's 200 kilometers away. I think it's called Ibrahim al-Khalil, the border. And I pushed through Ibrahim al-Khalil border.
Flirting with Death is brought to you by Old Timer Middle East for motorcycle parts, accessories, apparel, protective gear, and modifications. Old Timer, leave a trail behind.
So I think I'm on the road to Turkey. The road is not on the map. There was a sign that says it's Ibrahim al-Khalil border. But I can see a lot of Turkish trucks, so probably this is the way. Seems like this guy got a missile or something.
I arrived to the border.
Why are you not wearing? Okay, I will go. Huh? Man, you're not wearing anything.
At the border again, confusion. Okay, how is this happening? A Dubai number plate bike on the Turkish Iraqi border.
It was easy enough. Let's see the bike. The bike is normally the issue. But this is completely different than Iraq, man. They're all surprised. I have Iraqi visa anyway. Let's see. Now we need to do the bike papers. Okay. Let's see what's next. Turkish border was complex. They didn't know what's United Arab Emirates. First one they've ever seen coming from UAE. They didn't know what it's called. It's called BAE in Turkish. And Jordania is called Urdun. It took us an hour to find this out. I had to call some Turkish friends. I called Tolga. And insurance and qaid. Anyway, it's over, and they didn't ask for the carnet. So let's see. Now we go into Turkey.
Questions. Took 3 to 4 hours to get everything sorted. And I went into Turkey, which was good because I felt, okay, at least now it's a new route, it's all a new adventure. It wasn't on the plan. Turkey, Jordan, Syria, whatever. So, went into Turkey.
So, in Turkey, and I have no idea where I'm going. The closest city is... What's up, man? The city is like 400 kilometers. So it's gonna be a rough day.
Went around 50-60 kilometers, and I found this amazing hotel in the middle of nowhere. So I stopped in the hotel and I checked in because I was already 12 hours on the road between the riding and the border.
So just 50 kilometers after the border. No, almost found this hotel in a place that I did not expect. It's a very small city, and for 45 euros, 5-star, including breakfast, very nice view on the river. Did some washing, and tomorrow the target is Gaziantep, 480 kilometers.
And this road is directly on the Syria border. Now the plan is all gone, right? It's completely new plan. I don't know what to do. I had some friends of Bodrum. I said, okay, I will drive right all the way to Bodrum, which is on the other side of Turkey. It's around 1,000+ kilometers. And then we see what to do. So next morning I start the bike and I did not like how it sounded. Okay, the sound was not right. There was something wrong. It sounded a bit rough. So the plan was to go to Adana, a city on the coast, and take the coastal road and go all the way to Bodrum. I would say 85 exactly kilometers before Gaziantep. The worst thing that can happen happened. I heard this scary sound coming out of the engine. I lost all power. Every single light on the dashboard went on. Heat went up intensely, suddenly went all the way up. And I knew I fucked up. Something went wrong. The bike stopped at an incline and I saw a gas station 500 meters away.
Okay, I'm gonna push 500 meters up the hill. At least in a gas station I can sleep there, I can figure out my shit. Okay, here we go. So, it finally broke down. 500 meters to a gas station. Gaziantep is around 80 kilometers away. Temperature is very high.
Right, I had to push the bike all the way up to the gas station because I was on a highway. There is no way I'm gonna get anything here. At least in the gas station, I might have hope.
So there is a gas station 500 meters uphill. I'm gonna push it. See if there's any dealer or Honda or a motorcycle shop in Gaziantep. There should be, it's a big place.
So I stopped there and I pushed the bike for almost half an hour up the hill till I reached the gas station.
I'm at the gas station. There's a mechanic there. We'll see if he has a tow truck.
There was one mechanic shop there and I asked him, is there a tow truck? Because I need to get to a city. Here I can't do anything. And the problem is much bigger than something I can fix on the road. The guy doesn't speak English, of course. Nobody speaks English. And I went through a half an hour of trying to, and I showed him picture from Google how a tow truck. We go nowhere.
Assalamu alaikum. You have a phone number, tow truck, car, Gaziantep. Engine, finish. Piston.
Stop it.
I don't. Car to Gaziantep, Honda. You don't have phone number for car? No. Eh. The bike is dead, kaput.
Çalışmıyor.
No, finito. Nada.
Yeah.
I want.
Problem var.
Yeah. Gaziantep.
Antep'e gidecek.
Yeah. Since morning, I did not like the sound of the engine. And I told a few guys the engine does not sound right. Here we go. It's gone. Let's see. Problem, nobody understands shit here. Let them call a tow truck mechanics. They have no idea what's a tow truck. Nobody speaks English, Arabic, or I don't speak Turkish. Hotel doesn't know any pickup trucks, the one I'm going to. So it seems we're gonna sleep here tonight and figure shit out. Tomorrow's Sunday, so everybody's closed. It seems there is a Honda in Gaziantep. Let's see.
So I stopped in the gas station. I started trying to take anyone. Started hitchhiking for me and the bike. anyone going to Gaziantep?
It's been an hour. I'm standing here trying to ask people to help. There is empty pickups, but they don't stop. I don't blame them, yani. Not exactly somebody I would stop for.
I stop a few people that has pickup trucks empty on the back. No. And then one guy stopped. So the guy said, I'm not going to Gaziantep. I'm going to another city 30 kilometers away from Gaziantep. For me, anything getting me closer to Gaziantep is a plus. So I was like, it's fine.
This here first. Okay. Okay,
So he threw the bike on top, on the back with me, and we went driving to this city. I can't remember the name.
No.
On that road, I met a guy who was coming from Dubai, also going to Europe, going to Ireland. He's an Irish guy, and I met him in the gas station just before that issue happened. When this problem happened, I called him. I told him, listen, I broke down. So the guy started trying to help as well from his side, and he was looking for a tow truck and so on and so forth, but we couldn't find any.
So we're in a town 62 kilometers away from Gaziantep. I'll take another pickup truck to Gaziantep and I start dismantling there. So this is the first stop. These guys brought me here for free to help. This guy negotiated 500 liras to go to Gaziantep to the hotel, and then we'll figure our shit there. And we're off to Gaziantep. This was one of the worst days during this trip. Let's see how it's gonna end.
I arrived at night, bring the bike down, and now we need to figure out what's the issue. So second morning, bring down the tools and I start dismantling the engine in the middle of the hotel park. I call my mechanics and we go through the list. I remove the cylinder head, I remove this, I remove that, and we find out that the crank is broken. Now, why is it broken is the question that we're all. I know the bike is small, 125cc, lots of weight, extended riding hours, extreme heat, but still, it shouldn't break. Something caused this, and we need to find out so it doesn't happen again. There is a Honda dealer in Gaziantep, which gave me hope, right? So I go to the dealer, and I ask him, I want to fix the bike. He goes like, I cannot fix the bike because the engine is already off. I told him, I can close the engine, bring it down. Now, I talk to my Turkish friends here. They talk to him because they're not speaking English. So every time I call, I give him the phone, let him explain to him. And the guy said, I will not fix it. After talking, he leaned down, said, okay, I can fix it, but you need to take the parts from me. I said, I don't have a problem. I'll take the parts from you. He said, I don't have them. They will take a month to order. I told him I can get the parts here in 2 days. He goes like, no, I will use only my parts.
I'm in the Honda showroom, and these guys are extremely unhelpful. He said, if you open the engine, I will not touch it. I told him, I understand. I'm not going to give you any responsibility. Touch it, just fix it. And if you bring the parts from outside, I will not fix them. You go to another mechanic. I told him, you don't have parts. He said, yes, I don't have, but I don't install parts from outside. So I'm going to find another mechanic. And I will never come back to a Honda showroom in my life if this is the way they treat their people. He has a monkey actually. The difference between people here and the way, for example, in Canada, they helped me when I had issues is ridiculous.
To be honest, it was a terrible experience with them there. And I went to where I normally go, a KTM shop. I've been riding around the world with a KTM for 3.5 years. They're very helpful people. So I went to the KTM shop in Gaziantep.
The nice people from Honda, kicked me out. So we're going to this Class Moto. It's always, to be honest, better not to go to a dealer than go to a smaller shop. They're more interested in working than a dealer.
DIY moto, Suzuki KTM Motul class motor. Okay, wait.
And immediately you see the difference in welcoming you and talking. And the guy said, yeah, sure, no problem, bring it down, we will fix it. So we brought the bike down, I gave it to him, and I wanted him to confirm what is broken.
So finally I found somebody good. He's a KTM dealer, always they've been better dealers. They're very helpful people. He took the bike in, although he's not a Honda dealer, and they started working on it immediately. The guy experienced, and obviously he knows his shit.
So we opened, it is the crank, the cylinder head was scratched, and the piston had to change.
So I'm comfortable with these guys. He knows what he's doing. He dropped the engine in 15 minutes, first time he sees the bike. And let's see, now we figure out what's wrong, and then we start rebuilding. And here you can see the engine is down.
So we changed, he asked me to get the oil cooler pump. Keep in mind, we changed the oil cooler pump for the oil cooler, because once you put an oil cooler, the root of the oil extends. So it needs more power to pump the oil all the way back. And this is where I knew we up in Bahrain. And we thought this oil cooler was bigger, so we thought it's gonna do much better in cooling. But to be honest, I did not calculate this properly, and this is gonna bite me back when I'm in Turkey. Because we changed the oil cooler, we put a bigger one, but we did not calculate the amount of pressure required through to the bigger one. So what happened is what we call in motorcycle technology, oil starvation. So the crank was not getting enough oil, and that caused it to break. So the main issue was the oil cooler. So at that point, I decided no more oil cooler, we will remove it, or I get the other original oil cooler we installed initially, but we didn't have that one. So the better option was to get rid of the oil cooler. So we got rid of the oil cooler, and now we need to get the parts. Luckily, I had an engine in Dubai, a Honda engine. So I told the team, just remove the parts I need and ship it. Now we checked shipping. DHL needs 3 days. The problem is the customs in Turkey is extremely complicated. It will take 7 days minimum to get the parts out, if it ever goes out. So some friends who has friends in an embassy in Ankara said we will ship it to the embassy there, they don't stop it, and then the guys in the embassy will bring it to Gaziantep, which is 7 hours drive. That is another 5 days. Finally, we ended up, my wife's getting on a flight. Now there's no flights to Gaziantep, so she had to take 3 connections. With the parts, she flew to Qatar, Qatar to Adana, and then Adana took a car and drove to Gaziantep with the parts.
I don't know how to open this.
Yalla, I told you, be careful.
I cannot.
I told you, he is screwing everybody. Mother, he everyone in the street. Hey! Perfect.
The traffic, the streets are very narrow. Traffic lights.
And she brought the parts in. Immediately we go to the mechanic.
People bag screws if you need. Khalid sent.
How are you?
Hi.
It's my wife. She comes from Dubai with this. Okay, so he has all the parts. He will try to finish it by tomorrow or Friday, and we'll pick it up hopefully on Saturday.
So we stayed there. It was a nice break to go around Gaziantep. It's a beautiful city, all full of baklava. They're known for pistachio. They're the land of pistachio. I mean, there's hundreds of these shops of pistachios around.
They're famous for food here, and there is around 500,000 refugees from Syria, mainly Aleppo, which are also famous for food. So you can imagine.
So we went around Gaziantep. We spent a couple of days there. And then from there, I continued after the bike tricks. We went to Cappadocia. Went back to the coast, and from the coast went all the way to Bodrum. Bike was doing well. The heat was there. There was a lot of climbs, and on the climbs, I cannot do the climb in one shot. I had to stop, put the bike down, climb again, stop. I was targeting no more than 122 in temperature.
Some kind of a swimming. It's major traffic here because of this. Have to go downstairs. Oh my God.
So this was a bit longer than normal because of all the stopping, but it was a beautiful ride all the way to Bodrum.
So I found this here. This is the actual horse from the Troy movie. It is in this city in Turkey.
And in Bodrum, I met my friends. They had a yacht that they were sailing around the world. And I spent a couple of days in Bodrum trying to decide what's next. When I started looking at the map, I mean, things came to mind. Europe is on my doorstep. It's 500 kilometers away. So I decided to continue to Europe. Luckily, I had the Schengen visa with me, which was the only thing that would stop us. And I rode from Turkey heading to Europe, and I entered from Bulgaria. The traffic on the border I've never seen a border more busy in my life. It was a 6 to 7 kilometer line.
I am doing something not nice, but okay. I have to wear this helmet.
Because of the monkey, I skipped as usual, went through the cars, but still took a couple of hours.
So they took my passport, they stamped it, but they said you go buy insurance and come back. Okay, I had to walk for insurance, they wouldn't let me out. I got insurance 1 month European Union, 26 euros or 28 euros. Now I need to go back to get my passport because he took it. He said no passport before you get me insurance. So now we get insurance and maybe road tax. And this we can pack. Hopefully we will never need it.
Bought the insurance and ghosts checked in, and I went into Europe.
Lunch break in Bulgaria.
And went through Bulgaria, and from Bulgaria went through to Serbia, to Novi Sad. I have family there, my wife's family is there. And there is where I stopped and parked the bike.
Okay, so the plan has been very fluid for this trip. Started as a Middle East trip, somehow ended up in Europe. And now what we're gonna do, I am in my in-laws house in Novi Sad, Serbia. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna store the bike here till winter. Last time we started the bike.
The plan is this, because the plan keeps changing. Now the bike has 10,000 kilometers on the clock because of this trip, and I'm in Serbia. We did the trip in middle summer, So the logical thing to do, if it's called logic, is to do the other half of the trip from Serbia to North Cap in Norway in middle of winter. So we did it in plus 50. Temperature would be around minus 35 to minus 40 in snow. The first part from Serbia all the way to the ferry point to cross to Norway is gonna be more or less okay. Very cold, 0, minus 5. Once you get to Norway, it gets really, really cold. So January is part 2, where I will get the bike ready for the extreme opposite.
We get back, we put some oil for winter, we prep it for winter, and we go.
So now we need to keep the oil from freezing, we need to keep the fuel from freezing. Instead of keeping it cool, we need to do the opposite. We need to put tires, studs, so we need to put studs on the tires because of the snow. I cannot drive without that. And then I need heated clothing, so we're gonna look for the exact opposite of what we did in the first year. The plan is to go there January and to reach North Cap, which is the furthest point north in Europe.
Until that part of the Honda Monkey special is actually done, we will proceed with Flirting with Death, talking about his previous adventures and his journeys around the world. In the next episode of Flirting with Death.
I've been doing trips since 2010. They've been called under the name of Goodwill Journey. The Goodwill Journey idea started after a phone call I got from a father who has a daughter that was doing excellent in school, one of the top 5 over Palestine at that day in school, but he didn't have money to put her through university. We had a few meetings with the friends and started trying to collect money for this girl. My first trip has nothing to do with motorcycles. So I went on a climbing trip to a mountain in Nepal called Pumuri. It's around 7,000 meters high. I got some sponsors that would pay me $1 for every meter I climbed. It was a team climb, of course, I wasn't alone. That trip put her and another 4 girls through full 4 years university. And this was my first adventure kind of trip to support people in need. Again, I was sitting with a few friends and they say, okay, you ride a motorcycle, why don't you go around every country and tell them about the story. I went and bought a Harley Davidson V-Rod Night Special, which was a disaster, of course. After trying it for 3-4 days, I found out it's not going to be the right bike, of course. So I went with a Harley Electroglide Ultra Classic. So I went to Iran, went through Turkey, Syria, Jordan, back to Syria, Lebanon, Syria, then Turkey, and then went through every country in Europe, all the way up to London. And after you do a trip like this, you feel like, okay, I've done it all, you know. You've done Dubai to London on a bike, 40,000 kilometers, solo. You get cocky. So I said, okay, this works. I will do another trip. I'll make it bigger, and I will do Dubai to China and then down to Singapore. That trip taught me that I knew nothing about adventure riding. I had no clue what it means to be on a bike because the Europe trip was a walk in the park compared to this.
Coming soon. Please stay tuned to our Instagram account, Facebook page, and YouTube channel. Flirting with Death is brought to you by Old Timer Middle East for motorcycle parts, accessories, apparel, protective gear, and modifications. Old Timer, leave a trail behind.